So it's for our MSc program, and particularly for a module developing skills for business leadership. And as part of that, when I took over as module leader, I was looking for something that allows students to practice those business leadership skills in as open and as detailed a way as possible. So I was quite keen to get a simulation that would allow them to practice their business leadership and their management skills. So I was interested in finding something that was in depth, that was detailed, that was as close to a real business experience where students could run the business as a business as I could. So I looked around at a few options, and SimVenture was definitely the one that felt like it worked on that basis, that it felt like a complete business. It felt like you were making real decisions. It's informed by kind of a sort of a clear business model and business data behind it. It's a kind of rich experience. So and I always say to the students when we run it, the way to use the simulation is not to try and game the software, it's to run the business, because the ones that try and game the software tend to mess up, whereas the ones that make logical, informed business decisions tend to learn more, but b do better as a kind of consequence of that. So it's that sort of rich and in-depth business experience that you get through evolution that I was looking for. It's kind of massive, and I would use the word kind of varied. So in the context of the module where we talk about developing skills for business leadership, how I use the simulation is that it's for students to practice those skills, and I tell them that the dynamics around that are at two levels. So one is about thinking about how a business runs and the dynamics of decision making at a business level, but the other part of that is about the dynamics of how they interact and engage with each other as a team. So I put them into a team. They don't choose their own teams. They're assigned to a management team, and they have to go away and run the business for 2 years of kind of virtual operation on that basis. Then as part of their assessment, what they're asked to do is to reflect on that experience. So we don't judge them on the business performance. We ask them to think about what they've learned from that experience. And that learning comes back at kind of both levels. When I started the module, I was running this with 40 students in the simulation. This year, I've run it with over 600, and actually been able to maintain that kind of impact. It's something that comes back in student evaluations as a module highlight, that the opportunity to engage with the simulation, to practice real time or sort of accelerated business decision making, and to kind of explore the impact of that is something they really value. I actually find it quite exciting, and we run it in sort of the back third of the module, and that's partly to give us setup time, and it's get students signed up and all those sorts of things. But it's also that at that point we spent quite a lot of time talking about and exploring in an academic sense what it's like to kind of run a business. Now I'm somebody that came to a business school 30 years ago nearly to do an MBA, because I wanted to learn about how to run a business more effectively. So when I've got students in a classroom, when they're making business decisions and they're seeing the consequences of those business decisions, and they're engaged and they're excited by that, I can't help but being kind of engaged and kind of excited by that actually working with them and talking about, well, what's the impact of your business decision? Have you looked at the management data? You're very upset that you've made a loss, but why have you made a loss? And what's the kind of the learning from that? It's really quite, I think I've used the word exciting. That it brings a lot of the principles that we've been talking about on the module into kind of focus and brings them into reality for the students, which is great to see.